there was a sudden fire outbreak that engulfed the gates of the palace, the entrance gate to the palace of the Oni of Ife, as spiritual warfare exposes true reasons Queen Naomi left palace. Omo, matter e don't get am for what kill lego. You are welcome back again to my channel. Nice meeting you here once again. It is my pleasure to have you here. If you are here and you are yet to subscribe to my channel, kindly help me hit the subscribe button and also turn on notification bell. Give this video a thumbs up. Oh, hey. My correct people is not a joke again. Oh, this is no longer it's no longer a joke. Oh. Before we used to think that all this is a joke. But as we speak right about now, the matter is beginning to go down hot, like hot. Hey. They say, oh, at the early hour of, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, in the morning, according to what I heard allegedly. Like I always say, my people, all these are all alleged, speculated stories. They are not for sound information because as I get the gist on the street of social media, that is also bring to your door, bagam, your doorstep, right? See, if you have been following me and you have not subscribed, like I always say, now, subscription is totally free, okay? It's free, like free. So, they said they woke up that morning and all of a sudden they saw fire. Like, the heat was much that right in Kabiesi's chamber, Kabiesi could feel the heat. Not just him, everyone in the palace were feeling the heat. Like, where is this fire from? Where is this fire coming from? Like, the fire was so serious, okay? Of course, it wasn't a physical fire. Because when I got this gist, initially I was like, fire, will the palace survive this? But lo and behold, they said it wasn't a physical fire, but a spiritual fire. But despite the fact that it was a spiritual fire, but they could literally feel the heat that was coming out from the gate, the fire, the spiritual fire. They said they were actually seeing the fire, but it wasn't burning anything. It was just a spiritual fire. They said immediately the Ifa priest that was in the palace, started consulting Iyanifa. Everybody's hands were on deck just to unravel this mystery that engulfed the palace. To unravel this mysterious fire. From where? What is happening? What is going on? Lo and behold, after much consultation and everything, they now said that this fire has consumed that thing that they did for Queen Naomi to leave the palace. Hey, omo, they say breeze blow like this, foul nyash, e do waiting, e open like this. Wow. So that was how they said the fire consumed that thing they did that made Queen Naomi to leave palace. Because the way Queen Naomi left that palace, they said it wasn't an ordinary way. Because everybody saw what happened. And they were like, this is mysterious. Yes, it is. Because even if other Oloris are living or have left in the past, but Queen Naomi living, and she didn't even leave. The way she left now became the worst of the way others used to live. They make sure that they brought Queen Naomi out like this just to see that Queen Naomi is not a good person because of the way she left. They just make Queen Naomi look so funny that it now looks as if she was kind of dragging Kabiyesi on the street of social media, which was not too cool. People were not saying that why didn't she just live like that? All these things were orchestrated spiritually just to, make people see Queen Naomi as not a good person. Hey, like, see, this life, no matter how strong you are, you have to always watch your back, because nobody, if these people mean you. So they said, despite all these prayers, all the everything that Queen Naomi did to see that she did not leave that palace, finally she left. She surrendered like this to say, God, let your will, let it be done. That was why when she knew that she was to leave the palace and she was yet to give birth to her son, she started praying. She entered spiritual warfare because the plan was not for Queen Naomi to give birth to Tadenikawo, because they know that if Queen Naomi, like eventually, or she mistakenly, or peradventure, she gave birth to Tadenikawo, other sons will come in. And they don't want Kabiyesi to have any single son like this. That was the plan they have for Kabiyesi. For those who were against, remember that when Kabiyesi was when Kabiyesi came out, when they needed someone to be in that position of Oni of Ife, to take that position, they said about 40 something prince, I think about 47 or thereabout, prince came out to contest for that position, to know how the heat, the competition was. And for that kind of a position, some people will go extra mile. You know what I'm talking about? They will go more spiritual. They will do things just to get to get that position. But destiny, spoke for Kabiyesi. Destiny came calling, because God has destined that Kabiyesi will be the one to take that position. So no matter what these people did, all the abracadabra, all the whatever they did to see that Kabiyesi did not man that position, they work out. Kabiyesi took that position effortlessly. When with everything they were seeing, nobody believed that Kabiyesi of all people would be the one to take that position. Because money was on ground, things were on ground, things were happening to see that it gets to them, but it didn't happen. So the next thing the people could think was that, okay, no problem, you get to that position, but you will not get your son. You will never see sons. That is why they didn't allow these women to stay. They make sure that they were sending them out, sending them out, sending them out. Not until the great prophetess, Queen Naomi, Shilekola Ogunwusi, came into the palace and changed the narrative for them. Because they started pushing. And if you look, among all the Oloris that came to the palace and left, it was Queen Naomi that stayed longer among these three wives of Kabiyesi that were there with them on the throne that came and left. Queen Naomi was the one who stayed longer, because she told herself that if I must leave this palace with this heat, with this pressure that I'm seeing from left, right, and center, I must go with my testimony. I must go with a son. I must write my name in the book of Kabiyesi. My name must be in this good book of Kabiyesi, that I came to this palace, I came, I saw, and I did what? I conquered. It's not about staying there and be saying Olori, Olori, Olori. It's about what your story, your footprint. What is your legacy in the palace? And Queen Naomi achieved it. And that is why Queen Naomi can walk with her two shoulder high like this, anywhere, anytime, anywhere. Because she broke that yoke for Kabiyesi. She makes sure that she fights the good fight of faith, and she came out victorious. She conquered her enemies. Enemies thought that, even though, let her still live. She left. But lo and behold, Queen Naomi left, but she's still very much available. She's still very much, her presence is still very much felt. And Kabiyesi is still working tirelessly to see that Queen Naomi return. Despite the fact that they decide to flood the palace with different Oloris. But Queen Naomi has done it. She has done it. I know some people will say, how is Queen Naomi? It's just destiny. It's not Queen Naomi anything. Tadenikawo, even if Queen Naomi did not give birth to Tadenikawo, another woman would have given birth to Tadenikawo. How do you know? How do you guys know? Do you guys know maybe by now, Kabiyesi would have still stayed with that son? It's possible. I'm not saying that Queen Naomi is... In fact, Queen Naomi, she prayed though. Queen Naomi said it with her mouth. I heard it with my ear. She said she prayed. Few people don't know. She said she knew she would leave the palace. At that point, she said no. In fact, she would have even left long ago before the time she left. She looked at herself. Something ministered to her that, look, madam, how can you just come to this palace and just walk away like every other Oloris? And your name too will be in fact, nobody will even know that you even came to the palace. That was that is how they will just close that chapter. You do not just be once upon a time story that also Queen Naomi came and she left. No footprint, no stamp, nothing. She said no. No, this won't happen. I have to make a difference. I have to show that despite this thing that my enemies are doing to me, I have to show to the enemy that I came for a mission, that I'm on a mission in this palace. I came for purpose, and that purpose must be fulfilled. That purpose must be accomplished before I leave. That was how Queen Naomi embarked on fasting and prayer. The woman fasted, she prayed, she fasted, she prayed, she went in to her inner room, locked herself up, fasted and prayed. That was how her prayer was answered. That was how God heard her cry and gave her Tadenikawo. And ever since that then Nikawo came in, that was how the door opened for Kabiyesi for other sons to come in. You see that Queen Naomi conquered the enemy who thought that Kabiyesi would never give birth to son. And I'm sure those people will be like, how did it happen? This woman, how did you do it? But Queen Naomi did it all. After then, other sons started coming, and more will still come. Because why? Somebody decided to do that. But nobody is seeing that part of Queen Naomi. Nobody is seeing the fact that Queen Naomi changed the narrative. I know people will always say, even if she didn't do it, people go do it. See, there are people who always stand in the gap to go the extra mile for things to happen. Yes, Queen Naomi did that. And Kabiyesi know. He know the role that Queen Naomi played in his life. Yes. Kabiyesi understand these things very well, because all that time that Queen Naomi was there praying, doing all those things, that her son must come, she must give birth to a child, a son, specifically a son, not just a child, because Kabiyesi at this time, he already had daughters, grown-up daughters, no son. So Queen Naomi decided, intentionally told herself that she has to break this chain. She has to break this thing. And a son came. How come people are not seeing that part of Queen Naomi to appreciate this great woman who walked through the palace and changed the narrative for Kabiyesi that we all are celebrating today? So that fire, that spiritual fire that came, they say it finally burned all the things that the enemy did to free Queen Naomi and Kabiyesi and the entire palace. And right about now, they said there is serious jubilation going on, that thing that the enemy did has turned out to be for their victory. So my people, it's not a small. This is what I came across on the street of social media, and I said I must come here and relate with you guys. Thank you so much for always tuning in. Thank you so much for always standing by. I love you all. I appreciate you. God bless you. Like on your way again. Do have a beautiful day. Bye for now.